Hi, I'm Adam C and welcome to Sunningdale, home of Koenigsegg UK. SuperVettura has been here since 2010, but the building itself has been here over 100 years. Started life as Sunningdale Motors, but that building has been ripped down and Koenigsegg have approved a brand new building to house the collection of Koenigseggs and sell them. And for the first time ever in this country, we have every single model in the entire Koenigsegg lineup in the brand new building. Now there's about 20 car spotters waiting for it to open. We're going to try and get in there and show you some of the cars. They opened the floodgates, letting the first 25 people in, and we headed straight upstairs for the first car to look at, which is the prototype Koenigsegg CC, one of 3 cars that they made. This is the first ever Koenigsegg, and the lineup you'll see is a full development from that. So this is the first prototype. It actually has the Audi V8 naturally aspirated. But when Audi found out what their intentions were, they didn't want them messing around with their engines and getting that much power out of it. So Koenigsegg went for a Ferrari Flat 12 that was designed and consigned by Subaru. But unfortunately, the engine builder passed away, so they could not use the Subaru Flat 12. So they eventually went for the Ford V8. But this one still has that prototype Audi V8 naturally aspirated, not supercharged, so will sound very different to all the rest of the lineup. So it later became a 4.6, then a 4.7 on later Koenigseggs, but this is the prototype Koenigsegg. Have a look at those wheels, they look fantastic. So it was made to exceed the performance of the McLaren F1. Work began on this car in 1994, 2 years after the McLaren F1 project was revealed. And Koenigsegg is known very much for its doors. Now these doors would originally open normally, but eventually they did start their, I'm going to try this, dihedral helix synchro actuation. So obviously they come out, this one only actually goes up about 45 degrees, but later Koenigsegg would go all the way up vertically. So the basic shape is very familiar to Koenigsegg. Originally this was silver, then it was black, then Christian wanted it a striking and vivid orange. He went on holiday and came back, and this rose brown is what they came up with. Well, I think it looks spectacular. You've got the tinted headlight covers and you can see the carbon weave in it as well. Now this lineup is a direct comparison from the CC to the CC8S, which was their next model. So after the 1996 prototype, they started in 2002 with their CC8S. Only 6 cars were produced due to high production costs, out of which 2 were right-hand drive, and obviously this is one of the 2 right-hand drive CC8Ss. This is chassis number 005 in blue scuro is the colour of this. I don't know if I've pronounced this right. So it's still got the carbon fibre semi-monocoque attached to a steel subframe at the front and an aluminium subframe at the rear. So it still kept its Ford modular double overhead cam V8 with 655 horsepower, which was a loss at the time, but obviously it more than doubles to later Koenigseggs. But 0 to 60 was under 3.5 seconds, and they claimed the top speed could be over 240 miles per hour, thus beating the McLaren F1. So from the CC8S to the CCR is where you get the more recognizable front fascia of Koenigsegg. So this debuted at the 2004 Geneva Auto Show with more power than before by up to 806 horsepower. So it's got that larger front splitter, updated headlight design, upgraded suspension, larger brakes, and the newfound power in the back came from twin Rotex superchargers in the middle. Now this one is unique in that it's got the split rear spoiler. This is chassis number 18, finished in Koenigsegg Racing Green. They only made 14 CCRs, but they claimed to be the fastest production car in the world with a theoretical top speed of 245. But just 10 years later, Bugatti came along with the Veyron, giving Koenigsegg another hurdle to battle. So in 2006, they began with the Koenigsegg CCX. This one is Boo 2, chassis number 34 in Storm Chrome Black, originally debuted in the USA at the SEMA show in 2006. So the X in the Koenigsegg CCX commemorates the 10th anniversary of the completion and test drive of the first prototype CC, and it was made to be a more worldwide car for homologation in the US, developing their Ford engine in-house, so it became a Koenigsegg own engine so that it could run on 91 octane fuel, the crap fuel that Americans use, and to meet Californian emission standards as well. So this is the car, not this exact one, but the CCX was the car that Jeremy Clarkson test drove in Series 8, Episode 1 of Top Gear. He praised the car for being so exceptional to drive, but suffered the lackluster ability for grip. They tried to beat the Zonda F's time of 1 minute 18.4. They only got 1 minute 20.4 until the second attempt when Ben Collins famously crashed it, the Stig. So 3 episodes later, the car came back with a new rear wing and they achieved 1 minute 17.6. So after that, the CCX developed into various other special editions. They had the CCXR, which was a more environmentally friendly car that could run on E85 and E100 ethanol fuel. Then the CCX edition and CCXR editions with 888 horsepower, more track focused. Then the CCXR Special Edition, which had more revised aero, and Koenigsegg's first F1 paddle shift system. And they concluded with the CCXR Trevita, which was a diamond weave carbon fibre body on the Koenigsegg. Now you can't really see the weave on this CCX, but you certainly could on the original CC prototype. Obviously they are all carbon fibre cars. You can see the naked splitter here on Boo. But then after the development of the CCX special editions, they began with the Koenigsegg Agera in 2010. So this once again became the world's fastest production car in 2017, this one being the Agera R, as you can see by the badging down here. So they claimed the top speed was 285 miles per hour, and originally it had a twin turbocharged 4.7 litre V8, but then they replaced it with an in-house developed 5-litre V8 turbocharged again with 947 horsepower. So this was the first model to move away from the superchargers and into the twin turbo setup with its 7-speed dual clutch gearbox with paddle shifters. It's also got this large spoiler, electronically adjustable with auto setting or even manually controlled, again finished in carbon fibre, and it's that naked carbon fibre that you can see on the Agera Rs that made their debut in March 2011. Power of the Agera R was reportedly at 1,140, and then they continued their special edition trend with the Agera N, the Agera X, the Agera S Hundra, the Agera H Ace, the Agera RS, the Agera RS Naraya, the Agera RS Draken, the RSR, the RS ML, the XS, the RSN. So many models of the Agera, the Egg, were created. And that was until they realized that they could go even more bananas and create the Koenigsegg 1:1. So that is a 1:1 power to weight ratio, but we are not measuring in horsepower. So this is 1,360 PS to 1,360 kilograms. That they produced one prototype presented at the 2014 Geneva Motor Show, and then 6 more customer cars, this one being the only right-hand drive example that they made. But then after the success of the Ageras and the 1:1, they moved on to something completely different, the Koenigsegg Regera. So despite a similar sounding name, this is their first plug-in hybrid Grand Tourer. So it's designed to be a luxurious alternative to their mega cars, and they built 85 of them. So Regera is a Swedish verb meaning to reign or to rule, and it came after Christian bought a Tesla Model S in 2013 and was so impressed by the car's ability to instantly deliver power without any turbo lag or need for a downshift that he created this plug-in hybrid, still with the Koenigsegg V8. So from its Agera engine and the 3 electric motors, it has a combined horsepower of 1,797, so 1,800 horsepower in the Koenigsegg Regera. And as I'm sure you know, there is no need for shifting because this has got their single gear direct drive system, which feels completely crazy. I have been in a Regera before, and it is the strangest feeling not needing to have any gears shifted when driving along. So this one is number 1 of 9 right-hand drive examples. So out of all 80, they only made 9 in correct hand drive. But moving on from the Regera, they created the Koenigsegg Jesko, the Attack and the Absolute models, both of which are presented here in their carbon fiber purple finishes. So it was introduced at the 2019 Geneva Motor Show, and they completely sold out before the show ended. So it's got the 5.1 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine as used in the Agera with 1,280 horsepower. But now it's got a 180-degree flat plane crankshaft, so it increases the red line from 8,250 to 8,500, thus creating a very different sound from the distinct Koenigsegg rumble that you might recognise. Obviously they all stem from a Ford block that came from a Crown Victoria effectively, but this one is the first flat plane crank example fitted in the middle. So from standard they have forged aluminium centre lock wheels, 20-inch at the front and these 21s at the rear, and it has a fully redesigned monocoque that improves legroom and headroom in the interior of the Jesko. So this one you can see here is the Jesko Attack. That is the default package with massive carbon fibre splitter side skirts up to that rear spoiler, and then the Absolute is the top speed version without the spoiler, with more aero for a slipperier coefficiency, allowing for a faster top speed. And again, that front splitter is not quite as prominent as on the Attack. Unfortunately, me being a silly goose, I accidentally deleted all my footage of the Koenigsegg CC850. It was a homage to the original CC8S, limited to 50 units for Christian's 50th birthday, hence CC850, so they made 70 of them. It's based on Koenigsegg Jesko underpinnings, but inspired by the CC8S's design, and you can choose to either use the 6-speed manual gearbox with a clutch, or just paddle shift it. Also, having a look at all the cars around here, I'm guessing that that circle is the lift to get them up and down. So it's quite a task, but it is not just Koenigsegg downstairs, but we have more of their history to talk about, including the latest model right in the middle. There are a few other cars like the Lamborghini Revington, some Porsches as well, and of course an original AC Cobra 289. This is gorgeous, beautiful condition. And it's right-hand drive. Now for the American audience, yes, they did make Cobras in right-hand drive. They weren't all left-hand drive. This is an original AC 289, but unusually has the metal dashboard. Now normally they would all be dressed in black, but this one is metal. But I have been told it is an original. It's got the white wall tyres, the chrome wheels, and then there you go, powered by Ford. Their 4.7 litre 289 cubic inch V8, and it neighbours a McLaren P1 GTR. Now this one hasn't been converted for road use. It's one of 58 GTR editions for the P1, and it's for sale for £2.8 million. Now they do say in the sale that it can be converted if the customer wants into a road going car. You can see the massive battery charger there on the passenger seat. In the other corner, got the 356 Speedster, Rennsport 911 and the Lamborghini Revington. This is one of 21 hardtops they made. They kept one for themselves, then 20 customer cars. They then later made 15 convertibles, which were actually almost twice the price of the hardtop due to increased demand. So it's based on the Lamborghini Murcielago LP640, but was a design language that they moved forward with, a bridge gap between the Murcielago and the Aventador, obviously based on the stealth fighter jets. SuperVettura often have Revingtons in. It's like they're the UK supplier of the very limited run 6.5 litre V12 Legend from Lamborghini. And neighbouring that, we've got more British power in the shape of the Aston Martin. So it's a GT3 race car with that AMR coloured stripe from the Aston Martin badge in forged carbon all the way up the car. But then we come to the aforementioned Koenigsegg Gemera. So this is another plug-in hybrid, but is their first 4-seater cars, but still has the classic Koenigsegg door. So that's a massive door and opens the same way as all other Koenigsegg's to help for ease of access in the back. So they are dihedral synchro helix actuation doors on the Gemera. It was originally meant to have an inline 3 engine combined with electric motors to produce 1,400 horsepower, but eventually they had the Jesko's 5-litre V8 twin turbo, and combined with 3 electric motors it had 2,300 horsepower. Now this one is the first customer spec car, so you can see inside how it looks. We've got 2 heated cup holders and 2 cooled cup holders. It's also Koenigsegg's first 4-wheel drive model with 4-wheel steering as well. So they're going to make 300 of these. This one's finished in Pebble Beach green with the bronze wheels matching the brown interior inside. And then finally, of course, we have the latest Koenigsegg model, the ultimate version of the Jesko, the Cediz Spear. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but right front and center for all the crowd to see as they walk in is the to-date ultimate Koenigsegg. Have a look at all that aero around the back of that. Beautiful design. And you can see the development from the original CC prototype to this, where we have now come, and you can only imagine where Koenigsegg are going to go afterwards. Have a look at that duck lip at the back of it as well. So much aero, the Koenigsegg logo on the back. So that was the Koenigsegg prototype, the CC. Amazing to see this with the full lineup of Koenigsegg's entire history. The CC8S, the CCR, the CCX, the Agera, the One-to-One, then the Regera, the Jesko, the CC850 and the Gemera downstairs. Now one fine little trinket, I was trying to work out what rear light this could be. It says Japan, I think it's a Daihatsu applause. So please all do applaud in the comments for this prototype car. Amazing to see. So obviously, as I said, it's got the Audi naturally aspirated V8, which is what they started with. That's what they wanted. Audi said no, they didn't want them using that engine and building that much power out of it. So they were going to use a Subaru Flat 12 from a Ferrari Formula 1 car. And then the engine builder passed away. They ended up with the Ford engine from a Crown Victoria that's powered all the rest of the Koenigsegg's throughout their entirety. You can see the carbon weave in this. I think it's a gorgeous paint job. Thank you to SuperVettura for allowing me to film this collection. This car won't be in the UK for much longer, so very special to see this car today. So that was SuperVettura with their brand new building in Sunningdale. Come on down, take a look. There are some incredible cars. The CC prototype and the CC8S was so special to see, but I don't think they're going to be here beyond this weekend that I'm filming it. The CC is going back to Dubai, the CC8S is going back to, I think, the Netherlands it goes to, and the Gemera, maybe even the CC850. All of those cars, the first time in the UK, they've all been seen together. So hope you enjoyed that little tour, this very affluent area. I mean, we're near Ascot, we're near Virginia Water, so a bit different to my normal content, but we'll be back filming a lot more car meets very, very soon. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, but for now, thanks for watching. Oh, we've just noticed that all the post boxes in Sunningdale are gold because there was an Olympian that won gold for Great Britain, so they painted all their post boxes gold instead of red. And look, they've dressed it up. Welcome back, Koenigsegg, and then the 2 ghosts. Love that.